Alright, what's going on everyone? Goddrifter here and welcome back to another Recarx Racing Livestream. This is Livestream number 85. And this is a very special variant because this is actually, well, obviously I'm not just going to be using one car, but I'm going to be using the sponsored vehicles, aka the cars that have the Recarx. Basically the teammates, the sponsor decided to choose. So yeah, it's basically this is what it looks like. It's normally this sort of style with a giant Recarx on the side, and usually has other sponsors as well, but Recarx is usually the main sponsor. So, uh, yeah, without any further ado, time to drift the absolute mess out of these cars. And before I do anything else, um, obviously I had to like practice on drifting, so I'm going to Springstone. Permitted tire traction. Any drifting is on, time attack is off, climbing point is on, glitching is on, voting is on, night mode is off, cross platform multiplayer is on, and password is off. Because I mean everyone has it. Everyone has join the GTA 5 live streams anymore. Uh, I'm guessing because of I guess because of expanded enhanced. Um, I mean, it's not gonna be that bad. It's just that and keep in mind we're still gonna get updates, but they're just gonna be so yeah. I can speak to it. There's gonna be like portioned updates basically. Like it's like giving someone like a ration of food that should last them like entire not entire day, but like this entire like I don't know. I feel like the next update comes, it's like okay, that totally makes sense. But man, it's been a while since I actually drifted this variant of the 86. Okay. Yeah, what was it? Asian game and when you it gets the yeah, I kind of figured. Um, and not to mention, by the time I get a PS5, it may be too late for me to actually transfer my character to the next gen because obviously, there's obviously like for most people that be like, oh yeah, just try and get one for the next. Oh, he's supposed to be like free for the next 3 months, and keep in mind that these 3 months is literally April, May, and June. So literally, those are the 3 months. Well, it's either that or like March, April, May. I guess I have to start a new character. It's not worth it. Yeah, that's another thing that Jesus Christ, Rockstar, you went a couple of steps forward, but you gotten too many steps back. I mean, then again, it's kind of like the definitive edition. It's full of bugs and full of glitches, but I'm guessing because like okay, they could have easily just like delayed it until like November, until like everyone gets the console, but I also have to start fresh. I'm not surprised because literally it's like it's GTA 6. Like nothing is actually gonna get what's it called? Nothing's gonna get transferred from GTA 5 to GTA 6 because obviously like it's gonna be new characters and everything else, and basically it's kind of like that for the most part. It's not just because I'm just in fourth gear. Oh god. Alright. And speaking of bugs, let's not talk about GT7. Yeah, it's basically I don't know. I don't know if I'm not affected by this bug specifically. Um, which I don't know what the bug is, but something tells that it's all about about the licenses and stuff. And I don't know. I talk about licenses right now because like seriously, speaking of licenses, I finally gotten both gold on A9 and A10. A9 was a pain in the butt. A10 is not as bad. It's not as bad as A9. You know, yes, both of them involved rear-wheel drive cars, and one of them happens to be both of them are involving turns. End up, I was like, hold on. I was like, wait, how in the world is it managed? I was like, how do you people actually get gold in this one? It's like, wait a minute. I just realized, and then I just like, wait, hold on. Let me just put the first thing onto 10, and then the next, and then the other thing onto 1. And I'm getting 16.9. Yeah, 16.9. Not where. Mine's all together, people. Anyway. It's for those that wonder what the actual time I had was literally 16.934. So literally, I actually got lucky that I actually ended up getting that time. Otherwise, I've been like, man, this mission, like, what in the world? Ay, I mean, then again, there are people in GTA 5 that are new, are gonna be like, oh, okay, I can actually just start by, okay, I'm finna just use the $4 million to get all the way I want, all the cars and stuff. I can buy everything I want. It's like, you can't kick people, can't select names or messages. There's no quick chat. Oh, actually, I kind of figured it's a new game after all. Not to mention, the quick chat is usually an online thing, and usually it's mostly for single player purposes. But yeah, I'm surprised there is like there's no way to actually not just kick people, but can't select names. I think it's because like I think it's like everyone's using their username in the that you can actually choose when you start the game, but it's not quite obvious. But at the same time, actually is it's one of those things, of course. But and also I didn't realize you cannot kick people for some reason. Because the first time I actually done my first ever online car show, it actually wasn't that bad. I don't know, you can't kick. Like cruise line, and there's always someone racing not behaving. My goodness. And like, give a of course, someone in that tomahawk. I'm surprised. Okay, I'm not surprised that a lot of people will pre-order the 25th anniversary edition just so they can actually buy a tomahawk. The first ever chance they get. So literally, it's like, oh, okay, let me just get this, yoink, and boom, I got myself a tomahawk. When actually, you could easily just buy not all the cars per se, but like you can buy at least some of the cars for the exact amount of price. as some same like price as Tomahawk, and yeah, other than that, it's actually pretty interesting. Shoot, my controller's about to die. Oh my goodness. All right. Okay. I think I'm getting used to the actual handling of things. Time to actually get into the. All right, time to actually getting used to the things I actually wanted to do, which is I like that the car electric cars will refresh quicker. No, I thought about it. Here's the strange part. I didn't get the FC yet, which is already there right when you first start playing it. Playing the game, it's like okay, let's just get that. But no, instead I got the 70Z for literally for a cheaper price than the ones you actually get in the Brand Central. Which I'm not gonna lie, it's actually surprising that they didn't add cars from like 90s or 80s or like because literally I like I like picking my colors. I know it's a used car dealership, but still. Um, okay. So since that mess is over, time for me to actually um put it into Red Rock. Same thing as before. Drifting is on. Let's see. Come on the license RXM FC. I actually do need that FC actually. Um, okay, so drifting, flipping points, collision, voting, and cross-platform multiplayer is on. Password, night mode, time attack, and let's see, yeah, basically just those three are actually off, and anyone can actually join in any sort of tire traction or adhesion. That's what tire traction is. It's literally your adhesion. So basically, for example, if you want to go with 90, 100, 110, or 120, that's usually fine. But I usually just go for any. Anyway, I actually do need that FC. It's just literally like it's like okay, of all the rotaries I'm missing the RX 500 and I'm missing the FC, which I'm actually surprised I know has gone that yet. Probably it's probably legendary vehicle as well. All right. Honda 2000 is now available on the used car market. A lot of people are getting it. I got mine earlier actually, but Jesus Christ, 100 grand for a S2K? Not gonna lie, that is a little too generous. I mean, if it's a clean title, I don't mind. I mean, that again is a real low mileage Honda. That's one thing for sure. And along with that, I think it was another vehicle. It was a Porsche 911 993 RSCS, which is basically the rare variant of um, rare variant of the 911s they can actually get in the game. Um, okay, so before I do anything else, oh jeez, there we go. Those that want to join in. I'm going to type this in on the chat. So just give me a moment. Yeah, it's too high even for a low miler, which is weird. Like what in the world? Okay. Okay. I'm going to pin the comment. I was surprised that they didn't do a rotary cafe mission. That's actually another surprising thing. They have plenty of rotary powered vehicles that are legendary. Like for example, they could have done one with a RX 500, the 787B, and the FC, which is probably like their most legendary one so far. Um, and like it's weird that they didn't do that yet, because they did it with the Skyline, which is quite obvious. They did it with the Supra, except one of them is a 2020 Supra, which has the inline 4 instead of the inline 6, but it made more horsepower. I'm surprised they didn't do one with the. Oh wait, no, there's another one. Not surprised they didn't do the NSX cafe mission. That was my iPad. Don't worry about it. Everything is fine. Anyways, but yeah, I'm surprised they did the one with the it's surprised they do one with the NSX basically. Um, because there legit are like plenty of NSXs in the game, which is not gonna lie, it's kind of refreshing. Not refreshing, but it's actually interesting because there is the Pablo Hill one from the 1990s. There is the 2002 model, and then there is the 2017 model, uh, which is uh, 70 is expensive, and they want to pay for it. Could add the FB and do the 3 gens or the RX 500. Oh, it's the two of the three. Because there is an FC and an FD, but I'm surprised they didn't have the FB in the game. Which, speaking of FBs, I did see one while I was on my way from home to because apparently my mom took the long way home, which is literally just like, oh yeah, um because basically where she works at it's not just here but also in Compton, which is actually a the Mazda Cosmo legendary cars. Are you talking about like the 60s one? Or you talking about the 90s one? Because I don't mind going for like the 90s variant, even though the 90s variant is actually a lot as I saw the vehicle nowadays. But yeah, it's actually not that bad. Actually it was one of those cases where like, okay, the Cosmo did start the legendary 60s. I mean, I'm not against. Here's the thing. I'm not against 60s Cosmos. I like the 90s one better. And the reason why, it's the re-rotor. That's part of the reason why a lot of people go for the 90s Cosmos, because of a 3-rotor. That and they swapped the RX-8 motor for that. Oh jeez. Okay. Alright, that is interesting. We're about to exit. I'm going to the second Recarx vehicle, which is and also for those that are watching this live stream, you can use whatever you want. It's just that for me, I'm gonna be using these specific cars. So yeah, like that. For the 90s one, but the 61 is the one that will fit on legendary cars. That is true. That is indeed true. That they actually because yeah, the Cosmos started the Rotary business, and literally it's just like, oh, okay, so we have, the, honestly, the most interesting thing of them all, which is quite obvious, which is the 90s variant. Um, yeah, it's like, okay, so the Cosmos started started the Rotary business. Then it got out of control in the 70s with the KG not the first RX-7 known as the Savannah, the RX-3, the RX-500, the B2000, which is literally a rotary powered truck. Everything that Mazda build had around that time has either a inline 4 or a rotary. Oh jeez. Okay, this is actually an interesting vehicle to actually work with. Oh my freaking god. Okay, oh. But yeah, other than that, it's actually and then the 80s was like the moment that they actually were making bank. Like no joke, cause like they have not only the FB, but they actually have released the FC in around the 1980s. And then the 1990s is well, it's literally the best time and the worst time for Japanese cars, because if you think like this way, the Japanese financial crisis was happening, and they had to stop selling one of the legendary cars. Mitsubishi with the 2000 GT, Mazda with which is kind of sad, their RX-7s, Toyota with their Supras, as well as Nissan with their 300ZX, their Skyline. Oh boy. And their S-Fit and their legendary Silvias, for those wondering, yes, they did survive in 2002. Yeah, they did survive in 2002, but um, around that time, it wasn't worth to actually get these cars because of how financially how their variant of financial crisis actually boomed in. Was the thing I like it that you can import your lyrics from GT import one. Wait a minute. One thing I like is that you can import your liveries from GT Sport to GT7. I didn't even bother trying to import all my. In fact, I don't know how to import liveries from GT Sport to GT7. It's probably that. Okay, it's probably the thing that I actually legit had to like look into, because I don't know how to import the majority of my liveries from there to GT7. Oh jeez. Okay. Uh, so far, okay, the car itself is not bad. It's just that, I don't know why people never use this car in the first place. Okay. Liveries options, create livery and open liveries. Yeah, and every time every time I put open liveries, there wasn't there. Like, it was legit not there. I was like, wait a minute, what did the liveries I had? My goodness. It shows, okay. Alright, so Cloud Kid is here in the SC, and then got Campy in a E36. Okay. Oh god, oh god, oh shoot, oh shoot, oh shoot, oh shoot, okay. Oh my goodness. Crap, 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 shoot, 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 come on. Okay, there you go. And also, I'm gonna be uploading. I'm gonna be streaming. I'll be streaming twice, literally. So this is actually the first one. The second one is gonna be later tonight. So literally, there's that. So that way I can actually get plenty of coverage um, between streams. So there's that. Also, I did create those liveries, but apparently it's not there. So I'm like, what the heck? Like, why can I find them? Like, it makes no sense. And it actually hit me that I was like, oh, no wonder. And the reason is because the majority of the cars I had to buy wheels for. So literally, it was kind of like that for the most part. And not to mention, the wheels in the game are doggone expensive. It's not like GT Sport where they're like 100 mileage points, which is not bad. But Jesus freaking Christ, I kid you not. Half of those wheels are like 10 grand each. Not half, but the majority of them, which are legit majority of them are like racing wheels, are like literally 10 grand a piece. No joke. And the rest of them, oh yeah, it's not that bad. It's just 2,500 to 4,500 grand, 8,000 if you count one of them being raised. But yeah, other than that, it's actually not that bad actually. Crap, 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 shoot, shoot, oh no. Uh-oh. Oh, Jesus, okay. Oh dang, the lag started to kick in. Uh-oh, oh no, oh no. Wait, why'd I shift always to 5th gear? What in the world? Somehow this is actually a bad habit where literally where I actually am literally shifting all the way to like the highest gear so I can actually maintain this angle. Shoot, 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 shoot. Yeah. Go, Celica, go, Celica, go. I wasn't wondering. Yes, this is exactly what it is. It is a Toyota Celica GT hatch. I have not seen one in real life. I mean, then again, my ma owned one in the 80s, if I remember correctly. But it wasn't this one. This was actually the 1980s variant, not the 1970s model. But huh. Okay, so it's been 30 minutes, and I actually have not done this in a while. And before I do anything else, I'm going to be switching cars once I actually got into the starting points. And there I go. Wait, who actually joined in? Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to be switching cars, so give me a minute. Now what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I have not done this in a while, so what was I wondering that are new to the channel? I usually do these things called, I usually talk about these topics, which is, well, long story short, it is 10:44. Hey, welcome to the live stream. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So normally I talk about three things. Basically, for those that are don't know what my channel's about, obviously it's all about the cars, as well as some racing cliches, as well as the let's plays. So yeah, long story short, it is one of the many of these that I actually do like to talk about, which is obviously one that's talking about vehicle history. Yeah, not vehicle history. Racing cliches. In that's usually in 30 minutes. And an hour is usually vehicle history. And last but not least, an hour and 30 minutes is usually a game I played as a child in a nutshell. And some of these involve a whole lot of racing games. I kid you not. And I see I am indeed lagging for some reason. Okay, so in terms of today's racing cliches, even though I talked the episode, let's see a better trick. Is it you basically? Yep, you're teleporting. Yeah, it's a thing. And no, it's not that. You actually switch cars. And Carnage is here. It's been a while since we actually seen Carnage these days, and still rocking that BRZ. Nice. Oh my friggin' god. Alright. What was I say? Oh yeah. So today's racing cliche, and this is actually a misconception on everyone's discussion on every single thing about it, and that mess is drag racing. No, for those that are not too familiar with drag racing, surprise, like surprise, sucker, just got punched in the face. My god. But yeah, for those that are wondering how drag racing works, it's kind of like this. This is actually really old school, and by old school I meant they've been doing this since the Moonshiner days. Like we're talking 1920s. So yeah, for those wondering, drag racing is basically kind of like this. It's two cars in a straight line. It has to go as fast as possible, and more likely without more likely to actually see who crosses the finish line the fastest, which is quite simple really. But a lot of people do not realize that in terms of the Fast and Furious, they got that mess almost right, but everything completely wrong. First and foremost, the wheel setup. No one's gonna be drag racing in 20-inch Veilside Andrews. Hello? Yeah, welcome to the live stream. Wait, is my mic muted? No, my mic's not muted. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, there we go. And I was about to say, and I just realized there's another 8.6, but it turns out you actually changed cars again. Huh, okay, that's another BRZ. That's one BRZ. That's two BRZs. And there's an E36. Okay, what else is there? Dirt license just got here, so we might as well wait till it arrives, so that way the game doesn't, excuse me, full on not lag per se, but see a BMW, that's me. Oh, okay. Oh, the jet license. Okay. Now what was I saying? Oh yeah. But here's the thing. It's not just Fast Foods that actually spoiled you into actually how Darkseid works, but also video games, because logic. It's just like, but yeah. Long story short, the more horsepower you have, the more oh, it's an M4. Okay, a bumperless M4. Okay. Oh jeez. Oh god. Shoot. Shoot. Ah. But yeah, actually it's kind of funny how I'm actually talking about drag racing when we're legit drifting within the entirety of Recarx. Oh god dang it! Someone must have joined in. That's the reason why. It's the reason why the actual lag is real. God dang. But yeah, other than that, it's not as bad as people think it is. But in terms of drag racing, yeah, like for example, who was gonna drag race in 20-inch Andrew, 20-inch Veilside Andrew 5s, which for those that are wondering what there are, those are the wheels that Dom has in his RX-7. Until switches to a Dodge Charger, which that's how you're supposed to actually have that set up, which is literally like no rubber band tires. It's usually full on yeah, think of it this way, it's kinda like having it's basically I think it's like a 17-inch wheel with like plenty of tire, as well as having literally like at least the wheel's supposed to be like thicker than the fronts basically, and yeah, that's usually about it. Everything else is literally just like, okay, it all depends on how you set your car up, along with aerodynamics, but still, that's basically how it is. Oh shoot, okay. But yeah, other than that, and so, how did Red Dragon get involved in video games? Well, I mean, it's 15. I guess you switch cars, basically. No, what was I saying? Oh yeah, oh my god. How many people are joining in? Jesus freaking Christ. Alright. I try not to have the stream crash. That's the one thing I try not to actually have, which is literally the stream crashing on me because of how many people are actually joining in. Oh my goodness. Now, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So in terms of drag racing, it can go re either really well or really not well. Um, the example of really well was Need for Speed's Pro Street, which, well, as I'm wondering, obviously you have to do a burnout, which is actually a real thing in drag racing, to actually warm up the tires. And basically, long story short, is you end up trying to start early, then boom, false start. That's usually how that works. And not to mention, eh, not to mention, control is key when it comes to drag racing. And the reason why I say that is because literally, a lot of people did not know this, but you can legit crash in drag racing. And this is indeed true in real life. Another example, and I really hate to admit it, but Need for Speed's Payback actually done this a lot better, somewhat. Except, well, long story short, you don't drag race, and this is actually an example. You don't drag race on the freaking highway. Like, what in the world? Like, who in the world drag races on the freaking highway? But nonetheless, it actually still makes a lot more sense. Another example recently is GT7, and there are missions where where it's a 0 to 400 kilometer drag race, which is, which for those that are in the U.S. is a 0 to 400 is a quarter mile. 0 to 100 kilometer is like a half mile. So literally, it's one or the other. Anyways, I'm actually going to switch cars. Give me a moment. But yeah, other than that, it's not as bad as many people think it is. I wish. Here's the thing. I do wish I can say it's the same thing with Forza. But Forza, let's see, in terms of motorsport, they well. Horizon, on the other hand, is questionable at best. Same thing was, I want to say Shift 2, but Shift 2 actually did theirs properly. Um, basically, long story short, there are barriers within each car, and yeah, you're good to go. But, there is one more really, really good example, and this is a really old game from when I was a kid, and that was Test Drive 2002. Now, for those who wonder what that game is, it actually was the first ever racing game that I played on the original Xbox. Not Forza. Basically, well, TLDR, they actually have some really good drag racing. In fact, even though, yes, it's street drag racing, they still have like the rules that, basically, you false start, then you're trying to start early, that's the false start. Trying to cross the line, you'd be disqualified, and whoever actually was the faster vehicle wins. Which also is the reason why I actually do prefer the 2002 variant over the others, but that's besides the point. Those are wondering what's the bad example of drag racing. I already know I'm gonna get flamed for this. I really don't want to say it, but Underground 2 and Most Wanted are really bad examples of drag racing. Even though, yes, they have manual shifting gearboxes and all, but there are many problems. First and foremost, the way it's set up. Long story short, it's supposed to resemble a Fast and Furious movie and all, but there are too many problems that go along with that mess. And yeah, other than that, well, it's not just that, but there are other games I can say as well. And this is a really good example. What in the world? Oh Jesus! Oh no! Sorry, people. Shoot, what else is there? Dang. Oh, I remember now. There is there's a game that you probably not have heard of, and like I said, this is actually from my childhood. And in fact, this game I was afraid to play as a kid. It was to the point where like, okay, I probably will play this when I'm older, and then now I'm older, I end up getting the game anyways. So yeah, there is a game called Street Racing Syndicate, which for those that are wondering what this game is about, well, long story short, it is so stereotypical, it's cringeworthy. By that I meant, well, figuratively and literally, win the race, get the girl, and that's basically it. That's basically how that works. But yeah, other than that, actually, it's other than that, it's one of those things. Oh Jesus freaking Christ! There goes the car. Yeah, it was very close. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, before we go any further, there's 11 people, and there's 8 people in the stream. Okay, let's wait for the other people to actually get here, so that way we don't have people hitting each other. Clutch too much whoops. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, so far everyone's and my goodness, Livestream's ping is literally over the roof. Carnage's ping is over the roof, basically. Well, okay, never mind. Now it's going down to 54, and Carnage's is down to 30. Okay. So there are. Oh Jesus, God. Okay. Okay. Let's just make sure that everyone actually gets in, so that way they have to literally go in. Like, oh, okay. Where is oh Jesus. And he switched cars again. Yep, I knew it. My God. Okay. Oh, no. I see it's still... Oh my freaking God. Yeah, it's still, I'm like, that... It's not an issue per se, but it's kind of like... It keeps having that moment where it literally is just like, oh yeah, let's... Yeah, a lot of people are joining in. Hold on, people. Hold on. A lot of people are joining in. Because literally, if a lot of people, if you guys want to be smooth, then that's fine. But just be sure to actually at least let people join in, so that way you can actually so that way that mess can actually stop. My God. Jesus Christ. 13 out of 16 people. Okay, that actually makes a lot more sense. But yeah, other than that, actually it's interesting. But pros and cons of drag racing. The pros is that it actually tests your it's not just test your speed and skill, but also testing your shifting time as well as the way you launch your vehicle. And not to mention, there are some good ways to actually do drag racing, aka look for a truck that has a drag strip and or actually has a really long distance of a bridge or something. The cons on the other hand is the fact that a lot of people nowadays are literally just doing drag racing, street racing, or even doing full-on takeovers in racing games, which is not as bad, but in real life, drag racing is fine as long as it's legal. Actually, everything is fine as long as it's legal. Um, if it's a takeover, as long as it's in an event, then I'm fine with it. If it's not in an event, then what the heck are you doing? You're making us look bad. It's like, come on. But yeah, other than that, that is it for today's racing cliches. And in terms of vehicle history, it's gonna happen in around 8 minutes. So I'm actually going to switch cars. Okay. Oh. Oh jeez. Okay. Hold on. I'm going to switch cars. I'll be right back. Ugh. Okay. I probably have to put them as. I had to put the pinned comment from now on because of like someone he's like wants to get in and they can actually find room. Um, yeah, I'm fine with it. Now it's time for me to actually switch to the next vehicle. And that will be the MR2. Alright. Also, for you future racing game developers, that if you want to add drag racing to the game, I'll suggest looking at search up your history and make sure that you actually do a lot of research, and I mean a lot of research. Don't just don't look for things in movies because half the time it's accurate, half the time it's inaccurate. And oh my god, okay, yeah, 50 actually had joined in. Okay. Holy crap, that's a lot of people. Okay. And for those that are wondering how this Jackson works, I was just either trying to go into try to watch something from 1320, or actually looking for, or actually there is a channel called Pro Street Car Club, or the High Boost Racing Club TV. I forgot which one it is, but both of those, well, all three channels do involve some drag racing. So there's that. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why the MR2 sounds like it has a rotary. A rotary powered MR2, that's the thing. Shoot, okay. Yeah, other than that, this is actually the weirdest thing I ever heard. Like, have you ever heard of something known as a Rotary Powered MR2? My goodness. It was like a 4-cylinder. I know, actually, yeah, MR2s do come in 4 cylinders. It's just that the most desirable ones are usually they are V6 models, which is quite accurate because of how rare those are. First thing having a 4-cylinder. In fact, I think some actually, I think some at 1,000 horsepower with, I think with the motor alone. I don't know. I don't know. Like there is a ridiculously fast MR2 that is made by Boosted Boys. That's what I think that's what they're called. And they have a ridiculously fast MR2 that it was at that point. It was at one point in this versus that Unicorn edition. So yeah, that mess was ridiculously fast for what it is. Jesus freaking Christ. Ready 188X. Hold on. Let me just hit neutral. Okay, let's see. Hold on before I do anything else. Let me actually turn on the camera view real quick. And that's the reason why. No, that's not it. Okay, it looks, I don't want to be mean. I'm not trying to be mean, but it looks unfinished. Like, I kind of get it that you're trying to actually go for like this neochrome look, but it really looks unfinished. Like there are like the doors and everything else is painted, but except for the fenders as well as part of the hood even. Rainbow carbon. That's probably why. It's just like I'm not used to seeing carbon like that for the most part. Yeah, maybe an all car. Hold on, I'll probably to actually get close to the car. Jesus freaking Christ! Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh, sorry about that. Oh shoot, it's been an hour. Okay, alright, so I haven't talked about this vehicle yet, and it's actually surprising because of the fact that obviously all cars deserve equal love. So we're gonna be talking about the Civic. and specifically we're talking about every single Civic ranging from the first model to the current generation of Civics. So this is actually its full history. So get some popcorn, grab some popcorn, grab a drink, or actually grab some food, because this is the actual vehicle history on the Honda Civic. Honda Civics actually was around since the 1960s, and basically, long story short, they were a lot. In fact, there were a lot of Civics back then, and due to the fact that one of which actually happens to be a well-known racer known as Tsuchiro Honda, who actually developed bikes around World War II. And he decides, like, you know what? Instead of making bikes, well, I still gotta make bikes still. I'm gonna make cars now. So, yeah, let's go on with that. We're gonna make cars from now on. And the first vehicle was it was a pickup truck, which actually helped a little, but a lot of people want to ride in comfort, so he decided to design and build a Honda Civic, which the first generation came with a CVCC 1.4 liter and 1.4 liter 4-cylinder, which unironically made more than 60 to 80 horsepower. And keep in mind, this was the 1960s. Back then, the cars that we have were rating about 100 to 250 to even 300 horsepower, and the highest one being basically cars with, oh jeez, what the heck? That was weird. That was the thing. Oh yeah. Well, to make the long story short, the American car market had more than a half the horsepower of the original Honda Civic, which was I was wondering what's the highest horsepower that you ever gotten for vehicles. There is the Chevelle, the Nova, the Cuda, the Mustang, the Cougar, the Lincoln Continental, as well as the Oldsmobile Cutlass and the Buick Skyhawk, which not Skyhawk, Skylark, my bad. I think of a different variant of the Pontiac, but not Pontiac Buick, but still, nonetheless, it was an interesting time. But it actually wasn't popular until the 1970s, when the gas crisis happened, and due to the fact that these tiny little Hondas were more fuel efficient and more reliable than your average muscle car, a lot of people ended up buying them because, well, obviously, they were cheap. And when it comes to cheap, they get more. They can actually build more. So, yeah, there's that. Second generation came around in the 1980s with basically known as the EE and EF models, which is by far the most interesting at the moment. I'm sorry, did I just see a Datsun 620 with full-on monster truck tires just doing donuts for no exact reason? I'm guessing that thing can do wheelies. Huh. No. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So basically around the 1980s, there were plenty of variants of the Honda Civic, and these ranged from coupes, sedans, wagons, and the most infamous, well, see, two most famous / infamous variants, one of them being the EE CRX and the other one being the EF Civic Hatch. And I was wondering, yeah, we did end up getting those in the US, but unfortunately the CRX that we got in the US didn't come with back seats. Well, actually, I think they did, but not the ones that actually have no back seats back then. But still, nonetheless, it's kind of like that. Same thing with the EF Honda Civics, which around that time, and this is actually, this is actually one of the most important ones. these cars indeed started the tuner scene, which once I wondered what cars involved. Well, when Honda is the CRX, Hit Civics, Accords, Del Sols, S2000s. With Subaru, it's their Impreza and their Legacy. With Mitsubishi, it's their Galant, their Mirages, their Eclipses, and the Lancer? Yeah, back then we didn't get Evos in 2003. Oh, what the heck? What the? Oh my god. Yeah, sorry about that. Jesus friggin' Christ. Alright, about to switch cars actually. With Nissan. Oh Jesus, I'll bluff other cars. Nissan Zs, Nissan S13s, Nissan S14s, Nissan 200SXs, which in the US we got those as for those are wondering, they're basically Pulsars. Shoot, I forgot what the other ones are. Oh, also the 240SXs, basically, and basically I'm talking both S13 hatch and S13 coupes. Same thing with and Toyota. God forbid Toyota. Like, what in the world? Because, like, kid you not, they have way too many cars for their own good. Because not only that involves both Supras, well, not just both, but literally mainly the Supras. They also involved the Celica, the MR2, and obviously the Toyota Corollas, basically. So, yeah, every single one of those cars, if it's an import, it can be modified. So, yeah, that was the thing. But the thing is that back then there was no such thing as the internet. So you had to like look for the parts that you actually were looking at, and it's like, that's that's not bad, but still, what kind of vehicles are we looking at here? But anyways, to the 1990s. 1990s is basically the peak of the Honda Civics, which actually came with 3 variants now instead of 4 or 5. Well, no, well, it has 4 because one of those obviously being the Civic Del Sol, which is a Mazda Miata competitor. Instead of rear-wheel drive, it's front-wheel drive. I'm not even gonna question if that was a truck or not. And let me just let me fix the let's fix something real quick. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So obviously you got the Del Sol, but a lot of people know this car because of the Fast and the Furious. That being the EJ2SI and the EG6 from Initial D. If I was wondering, wait, what about the Civic sedans? They're there, in there, in here, as well as over there. Yeah, if I was wondering, the Civic sedans wasn't as popular as the Civic coupes or Civic hatches. Which, it's one of those cases where it's like, okay, that's possibly a really good thing at all. But that all changed around the late 1990s, where literally they got a facelifted model, aka the EKs, it's the EM1 SI, the EK9 hatch, and I think there's an EM1 sedan. I can't remember. Those souls were still being sold, but many people didn't bother buying them because it was basically a Civic and basically a Miata in a Civic's body. That's basically what it was. Along with that, that is the end of the 1990s, and this is actually a really sad case, as in the 2000s, there were a lot of not only cars being pulled over, but honestly Civics being stolen for chop shops to actually get parts for vehicles, and what the heck? That was uncalled for. Why was in that semi? Please change your vehicle. Like, what the heck? What was I saying? Oh yeah. Actually, in fact, one of my old instructors, when I first went to a new college, actually told me, my favorite, my BRZ. What the heck? No, what was I saying? Oh yeah, basically what he started to tell me is that even if he actually had anti-theft stuff and actually try smarter ways to actually get the what's the name of the session? It is at the pin comments of. It is actually in the pin comments on the chat if you're watching this on your either in any sort of device, basically your laptop, iPad, iPhone, Android, tablet, basically the tab comment is actually the name of the server. Oh, I forgot to rate SB's 180. I'll go and give it I was about to give that mess a 6 out of 10. But if you add more, then I probably will raise the rank. But for now, it's a 6 out of 10 because of how unfinished it looked. And don't worry, I'm all in for rainbow carbon fiber themed stuff, but it just doesn't look finished. That's basically my ordeal. Like I like cars that look finished. That's one thing for sure. But if you're doing that for styling, and then that's full on style points right there. But other than that, it's not as bad. No, what's I saying? Oh yeah. So around the 2000s, we end up getting the ugly ducklings of the Civics, basically. Early 2000s gave us the EP3 hatch. Yeah, EP3 hatch. Forgot what the other one is called. But it was the coupe model variant of the EP3 and the sedan model of the same vehicle, which was not only like the not ever, but what the heck? It was by far the most. Let's say not only that it was literally not only the most cars that were bought as their first cars, but it was the most modified of the Civics, basically. You know, yes, you got the Civic EGs and the Civic EM1 SIs and EK9s, as well as the EJ2 cubes, basically. No vehicle was more modified than the 2000 Civics, basically. And it was until they actually get this. Oh God, you cost too much, man. My God. Okay, going to back up. Check first. No, what was I saying? Oh yeah. Basically, it is one of those It's basically one of those cars. Actually, a lot of people buy because of how popular it was, and it is indeed true because did you not see Civics like Civics like those until this day, and it was until basically my favorite variant of the Civics actually came out, which was the wondering that'll be the 07 to 2011 models basically. And for those who are wondering which one that was, I forgot the chassis name of it, but it was actually the start of the F series chassis. So basically, for those who are wondering, no, we're not talking BMWs here. We're talking Civics. But yeah, other than that, oh yeah, for those who are wondering, there was no sedan models. Well, unless you count the European variant, which we don't talk about that European variant. We don't talk about that mess. Well, I was wondering, that's the moment where we started to notice the Type R being a thing in the US and in Europe, but we never got them in the US until 2018. Same thing goes with the same thing goes on with many other vehicles that came out that year. So shoot, what was I saying? Oh yeah, okay, I do remember now. There is another vehicle. It's not a vehicle variant, but still, there are two variants of the Civic, which is the can't search its section. What the heck? Hold on. Are you in the American server? Because so I've had to type that in as well. Well, unfortunately, the fact that I typed that message in the chat. Unfortunately, there are no legit enter bars basically for chats for some reason, unless you're like trying to send something. But I usually like to. Well, here's like, like keep looking. There should be like other people in there. I will not. But I'll be there shortly. So, give me a moment to actually look for the vehicle like that has a Recarx thing on the side. Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, looks like I'm doomed from the start. I can't believe I'm using a Scion I am of all things. And yes, that is a Scion I am. Stop trying to say it's a Corolla. It's not. It's just. Alright. But like I said, just make sure you keep looking. Make sure you're in the American server, because that's mostly the reason why people can't find it in the first place. Because a lot of people are in either they're in Asia servers or in European servers. Oh jeez, this thing is heavy. And I'm not talking about heavy hat as in how bulky it is. I'm talking like this steering is a little heavier on the heavy side in the European server. I knew it. That usually happens when it's like I can't find it. It's like, wait, are you in an American server? Because that's usually the reason why people couldn't find it. But also I'm not even finished with the Civic story yet. So yeah, the next model that I end up getting is the 2012 model to 2015. So literally, that variant of Civic have been there for only 3 years. Kind of like the Marcolo, except the Marcolo around that time was it wasn't a POS, but it was a really underrated variant of the Marcolo. Excuse me. Um, but yeah, other than that, it's actually just kind of like that. And then and then this is actually the last generation that you end up getting before you had to start to get new ones basically, and that was the basically the Civics with the how do you say the most exaggerated body lines I ever seen in the Civic, and the Civic Coupes actually, in fact, that was actually the last Civic Coupes I've ever gotten for that specific model, which is quite sad really, because I was actually fond of the actual, the actual coupe Civics. The hatch looked like a wagon, and the sedan looked like a hatch, which is weird. I say, in fact, I don't know what this sedan is supposed to be. I don't know, like the coupe looks like a hatch, and then the hatch looks like a wagon. Is it wrong to think that? I don't know. All I do know is that, okay, that's totally a thing, but at the same time, it's weird because of how. Yes, it is weird, but at the same time, it actually kind of works. It's one of those cases where is where you got the Civic Si for the coupes, and then and for God knows how long, but we end up finally gotten the Civic Type R, and it was actually a little bit different from the average Type R, being the fact that the engine being turboed, and yeah, and in fact the Accord uses the same engine, but it was a bit detuned. And okay, it's not the same engine, but it was basically it was a K series, so there's that. And then now we're in the current generation of Honda Civics, where they actually have a lot more safety, and it's not as exaggerated. And I don't know why people didn't like that variant, because I'd rather have like smooth lines than fake vents. In fact, the late 2010s were known as the not fake bashing, but literally like the fake air duct scene, basically. Not the fake air duct scene, the fake air duct phase. That's basically what I meant to say. Is like look at this giant bumper. It's so aggressive. It's like, well, are they functional though? It's like, no, it's not. It's like, what? So you tell me that mess isn't functional? It's like, yeah, it's not functional at all. It's like, well, shoot, okay. But for those who are wondering, okay, what are my thoughts on the new Civics to this day? Well, I actually do kind of like them, to be completely honest. And I know this is actually a very controversial vehicle because of how they act. Though they basically legit just take off the coupe variants. I mean, unfortunately, the Accord did it first because not only that, but they took out the V6 model as well, which is honestly that was like their best seller if they want. It's like they're literally like the closest thing to a sports car, and Around that time, they were competing with the 370Z, the V6 variant Camaro, the V6 Mustang, the V6 Challenger, the Genesis. It was competing against everybody basically around that point. And yeah, other than that, it was interesting. Oh, sorry about that. Jesus. And again, we never know what's gonna happen with the newer Civics. Should we expect a new coupe variant of it? Should we expect a new Type R? Because I'm pretty sure they're making a Type R of that mess. Because that mess was popular around the it's been popular literally since the 90s. But Honda didn't want us, the US, getting the same thing as you got for the from Europe, or even for Japanese car culture. So yeah, actually I did have a lot of fun. I've actually talking about the Honda Civic. I actually rode in 3 of them actually. Well, I was wondering which one I'm talking about. I'm talking about the original Civic Si, which I do believe it was my auntie's until it got stolen. My cousin had one, which unfortunately it got stolen as well. And then I rode a co-worker's one. I won one at a co-working place, which it was a 2014 model. It was comfortable, but unfortunately, due to my size being literally 5'10", say 5'10", unfortunately I wasn't able to fit because of how freakishly tall I was, and it's like, man, I don't know if I can fit in this vehicle. Oh Jesus! God dang, guys, chill. Alright, I'm about to switch cars. Give me a moment. I do like the IM, I really do, but I just not the biggest fan of driving it, period. Ay. Ugh. Alright, now I'm going to be talking about a game that I actually did played when I was a kid, but it was literally a full-on friggin' rental. And don't blame me, blame my brother for actually had me play it in the first place. And it was actually one of those movies where I'm like, man, this type of game isn't for me. And for those of what I'm talking about, I am going to be talking about hear me on this one. Bayverse Transformers, the video game, which came out around 2007 for the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Nintendo Wii, Nintendo DS, and I think that's about it. So, for those who are wondering, why the heck did I end up playing that game in the first place? Well, it's because I liked the first movie. Because as a kid, I actually did like the first movie. In fact, well, even though I watched I watched all of them. Like I watched the original 1986 Transformers movie, the 2000s Transformers Cybertron, and I ended up watching Bay vs Transformers when I was a kid because of how epic the trailer looked. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, might as well watched it. And I didn't know that they actually came with I didn't know that they actually made a game based off the movie, which it was one of those cases where it actually was pretty accurate. Well, I would say accurate, but it wasn't accurate. It's like, okay, this actually took place like sometime before the first movie. In fact, I think it was take place between Bumblebee the movie and the first Transformers film, which in of itself was already a prequel to what it was. And I was like, oh, okay, that's neat. Okay, that's interesting. But yeah, other than that, it was cool to say the least. But yeah, other than that, it was one of those cases where it's like, okay, that actually is pretty cool. Like, I did like the game, but keep in mind, I was only a kid, and after the many movies I watched, I stopped watching the Transformers movie after the fourth film because of how weird it was. Like, I watched the first film, it was cool. Second film, innuendos all over the place, and I kid you not, it was innuendo after innuendo. I was like, Jesus freaking Christ! It was like, first and foremost, if you try to say something, just say it. Like, don't end up showing innuendos. In fact, keep in mind, I was only 10, 11 years old at the time, 12. Because I think that movie came out in 2011. I can't remember, but in around 2013, 2014 is when the fourth movie came out, and I was honestly I was a bit disappointed. I like, it wasn't bad. I was just disappointed, and then end up watching that mess again, and I was like, okay, when did this took place? Because pretty sure, if I can't deny if I remember correctly, they were heroes in the third film. So what the heck? I was like, what the heck is going on here? The reason why I'm switching cars like after one section, because literally I have to hurry along so that I can actually get to the next live stream, which is happening literally 4 hours from now. So literally like 6, 7 o'clock, 9 to 10 o'clock in Eastern Standard Time. So that's usually the ordeal. I think wait, hold on, let me see. If I remember correctly, okay, so I have 3 more cars I can actually use, and both of them being 2 of them being Supras and 1 GRERs. But yeah, unfortunately, I might have to end it earlier than usual because I want to like keep grinding on GT7, so I can actually build more cars for you guys. So without any further ado, hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. Leave a like, subscribe, comment down below what you want to see next. You can follow me on Instagram at Goddrifter247sun Productions. You can follow me on Twitter at G247s. And last but certainly not least, you can check out and join my Discord at Goddrifter247sun Productions Garage Museum. And last but certainly not least, I hope you guys have a dope Monday and also have a dope spring break. This is Goddrifter signing off. I'll see you guys tonight, and then see you guys next time. This is Goddrifter signing off. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.